Alright everyone, how's it going? I'm Rodrigo and you're on Newcastle Mania, the channel made by a supporter for supporters who are absolutely mad about Newcastle United. You blinked and Newcastle are making waves on multiple fronts. We've got a controversial decision about the club's iconic walkout song that's got fans divided. We've got an injury crisis up front that's leaving Eddie Howe with virtually no options. And we've got a bombshell signing that shows Newcastle are thinking about the future whilst battling in the present. And the third story made, this one proves Newcastle are beating the biggest clubs in England to secure the stars of tomorrow. But first, just a quick word. If you love Newcastle and want to keep up with everything happening at our club, subscribe to the channel right now. It costs nothing, helps massively, and makes all the difference to the growth of our black and white community. Hit that red button down below and turn on the notifications. Right then, let's dive straight into these stories. News 1, the local hero controversy. Starting with the first story that's got Newcastle fans absolutely divided. The club have dropped Local Hero as the players' walkout song, replacing it with the Bladen Races, and Eddie Howe has revealed it was the players themselves who requested the change. Let me explain what's happened here because this is quite the controversial decision. For years, Newcastle United players have walked out to Mark Knopfler's iconic song, Going Home, theme of the local hero. It's been a tradition. That beautiful, haunting tune playing as the lads emerge from the tunnel has given fans goosebumps for ages. But now, the club have switched things around. The players will now walk out to the Bladen Races instead. The famous Geordie anthem that gets the entire stadium singing and bouncing. Now, Local Hero isn't being completely axed from match days. It'll still be played in the build-up the games and during the pre-match atmosphere. But the actual walkout moment, that's now all about the Bladen Races. And here's the thing. Some fans are absolutely devastated by this decision. Local Hero has been part of Newcastle's identity for so long. It's iconic, it's special, and now it's been replaced. But when Eddie Howe was asked about the decision, he gave a really interesting response. He said, "Well, I can give you what I know. I'm not directly involved in those discussions, especially with the schedule that we have. I've been putting all my focus on the team, but I know there has been discussions to the pre-match environment and making sure that it's the best it can be." So Howe is basically saying he's not the one making these decisions. He's too busy focusing on the football side of things. He continued, "I think there was a few tweaks made. Obviously, I'm not out there at that moment, so I'm not really the best person to judge whether that's a success or not. I know there's been a few tweaks. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the changes." But here's where it gets really interesting. Flags, the supporters group, released a statement explaining exactly why this change was made. And the reason might surprise you. The statement read, "The club have told us the decision to swap Local Hero with the Bladen Races before kick-off was done primarily at the request of the players and coaching staff who want to hear the fans singing right at kick-off, which is not possible with Local Hero but is with the Bladen Races." There it is. The players themselves requested this change. They want to walk out to the sound of thousands of Geordies belting out the Bladen Races. They want that all-singing, all-dancing atmosphere as they emerge from the tunnel. Think about it from the players' perspective. What's more inspiring, walking out to a beautiful but relatively quiet instrumental piece, or walking out to 32,000 fans singing at the top of their lungs? The Flag statement continued. So whilst honouring the tradition of those two songs, the club have swapped them round so that Local Hero plays before the team emerge and the Bladen Races before kick-off. It's up to us to live up to that request and belt out the Bladen Races and also carry it into the game. So there's the challenge to the fans. The players want to hear you singing. They want that energy. They want that passion. Can the Toon Army deliver? Now, I know some fans will hate this decision. Local Hero's been part of Newcastle's identity for so long. Mark Knopfler even re-released the song last year, specifically for Newcastle fans, saying he had no idea it would become such an important part of the club's culture. But here's my take. If the players are asking for this, if they genuinely believe it'll help them perform better, then we've got to support it. At the end of the day, creating the best possible atmosphere to help the team win is what matters most.
News 2, the William Osula injury bombshell.
Now let's move on to the second story, and this one is a genuine crisis for Newcastle. William Osula is facing weeks on the sidelines with an ankle injury, leaving Eddie Howe desperately short of attacking options. This is a disaster, mate, an absolute disaster. Let me explain why. Newcastle are already without Anthony Gordon, who's dealing with that recurring hip injury that forced him off against Athletic Bilbao. They're also still without Yohan Wissa, who still hasn't made his debut since his £55 million move from Brentford way back in September. And now, William Osula is out for weeks as well. Eddie Howe gave the update at his press conference, and it's not good news. He said, "It is something he has been feeling for a little bit, but it has been functional and able to play. But he has had a scan and it told us to pull back a bit. It's not serious, but could be out for a few weeks." So, Osula has been playing through pain with his ankle injury, but the medical staff have finally said enough is enough. He needs to rest and recover properly or risk making it much worse. This leaves Newcastle with basically one fit striker for the trip to Brentford on Sunday, Nick Waltermaid. That's it, one striker. For a club competing in the Premier League and Champions League, it's madness. Waltermaid's been absolutely brilliant, don't get me wrong. He's scored goals, he's worked his socks off, he's proven his quality. But the poor lad has started 10 consecutive matches now. He must be absolutely knackered. And Howe basically admitted they're going to have to wrap Waltermaid in cotton wool to keep him fit because there's literally nobody else. Howe said, "I think we're in the process of doing that. Nick is one player in the machine and we are finding our best way to use him. But I am very happy with Nick, his application and his ability to carry out instructions." But what happens if Waltermaid gets injured? What happens if he needs a rest? Newcastle would have absolutely no recognised striker available. They'd have to improvise with attacking midfielders playing up front or something desperate like that. And the Wissa situation is getting more and more concerning. He's now missed 3 proposed comeback dates. Brighton came and went without him returning. West Ham came and went. And now Brentford, his former club, is coming up and he's still not back. Getting Wissa back before the international break would have calmed everyone down. But instead, the worry is growing that maybe this injury is more serious than we've been told. Howe tried to sound positive about the Wissa situation. He said his knee is feeling good, it is more a case of looking at his fitness and sharpness. He's in a good place to kick on, but we need to get him in a position to be robust enough to help the team. I am sure he'll be worth the wait. But then he admitted the frustration. Injuries are part and parcel of football, but the only frustration is we haven't seen him because he wasn't with us when he picked up. It's been difficult because the transfer was done with the thinking of helping us in the here and now. But we have to make sure when he's back, he's ready to hit the ground running. That's the key bit. Newcastle signed Wissa to help him in the here and now. They paid £55 million for immediate impact. And instead, he's been out for months and nobody knows when he'll actually play. This injury crisis could genuinely derail Newcastle's season if they're not careful.
And now we arrive at the main story, the one I promised you at the start. Newcastle United have completed a secret signing that leaked online and they've beaten Manchester United, Tottenham and Brighton to secure one of England's brightest young talents. Josh Kenchington, a 15-year-old wonder kid from Barnsley, has joined Newcastle's academy in a deal worth £350,000. And this kid is being compared to England's John Stones. Let me tell you about this signing because it's absolutely massive for Newcastle's future. Kenchington is a 15-year-old centre-back who stands over 6 feet tall already. He's been starring for Barnsley's academy, and pretty much every big club in England has been watching him. According to Sky Sports, Newcastle initially bid £275,000 for the teenager, but Barnsley wanted more, so after a couple of rounds of negotiations, Newcastle agreed to pay £350,000 to get the deal done. And it's believed that Newcastle fought off Brighton and Albion, Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United to secure Kenchington's signature. That's 3 massive clubs that wanted this kid, and Newcastle won the race. The teenager broke his silence on Instagram with an emotional message. He wrote, "Where do I start? 5 years at this great academy, filled with both ups and downs, a roller coaster of emotions. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone at the club, including academy staff, players, and every coach along the way. Thank you all. You can feel the emotion in those words, can't you? 5 years at his boyhood club, and now he's moving on to chase his dream at Newcastle. He continued, "I will never forget the memories made at my boyhood club, and never forget how much I progressed. But it's time now for the next chapter of my life. We move." That's class from the young lad, showing respect to Barnsley whilst being excited about his future in Newcastle. The youngster will officially join Newcastle's academy later this year if there are no late hitches on the deal, and Newcastle fans should be absolutely buzzing about this. This signing shows that Newcastle have a reputation for scouring the AFL for top young talent. Youth scout Paul Baker has been doing brilliant work, previously presenting the signings of Trevan Senesi in 2023 and Sam Alabi from Oldham Athletic. Academy boss Steve Harbour spoke about the importance of being able to compete nationally to sign such young players. He said, "Being in a position to compete nationally to sign such young players shows how much the club value young talent, and we really appreciate the backing of the board." He continued, "Through the hard work of everyone involved and the support of the ownership, we are now in a position to provide a high level of staffing, program, and a pathway to allow young players to develop. The opportunity is there, now it's up to the boys." That's the key thing. Newcastle aren't just signing these young players and forgetting about them, they're providing top-class facilities, coaching, and a genuine pathway to the first team. Look at players like Lewis Hall, Lewis Mealy, and others who've come through the academy and made it to the first team. Newcastle are giving young players opportunities if they're good enough. And Kensington being compared to John Stones is massive. Stones is one of England's best defenders, a Premier League and Champions League winner with Manchester City. If Kensington can develop even half as well as Stones has, Newcastle will have an absolute star on their hands. The fact that Newcastle beat Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur and Brighton to this signing shows how far the club has come. A few years ago, Newcastle would have been the club losing out to the bigger names. Now they're the ones winning these battles. This is what smart recruitment looks like. Whilst Newcastle are competing in the here and now with big money signings like Wissa and Watermaid, they're also planning for the future by securing the best young talent in the country.